I told you in the beginning, I was like, I have zero jealousy. Like I don't care who you talk to, who you hang out with. I trust you as a human being, as an adult, to have conscious conversations and to be at events. You're on set, you do scenes with men who are half naked, you do all these different things in movies, right? I'm like and also I looked at your history, right? She's done over 40 movies plus.
I'm like Harper. And my
yeah,
dad.
right. But she's done, romance scenes in movies where she's with other men and kissing and all these different things. And I remember asking myself, okay, this is who this woman has been, and am I okay if because I have a good buddy of mine who was married and now divorced to an actress. And I remember it was a huge issue when she had a movie come out with a kissing scene.
Okay.
And it ruined him. And he had to leave the room when the whole thing happened, when the scene was coming up, he had to leave. He could not deal with it.
Okay.
It wrecked him. And I remember saying, okay, would this affect me if this happens in the future, or if she's out at events, or if guys are hitting on her? She's had lots of them, wealthy, successful, rich, famous guys hitting on her. And I said, would I be jealous? And for whatever reason, all the work that I had done, I was like, I'm not going to be jealous at all. And I made a decision, and I don't think I have been since I've met you. I don't think there's been any moment where I was like, where'd you go tonight? Were you with some guy? Who is that guy? What are you doing? Or questioning anything that you're doing, because we both know that if I did something out of integrity or you did something out of integrity, we would have to live with that. Mm-hmm. And we would suffer more than the other person with that. And eventually we would find out. Mm-hmm. And when we find out, eventually, whether it's that day, 6 months, 3 years later, we'll resolve it however we want to resolve it. And life will go on. Yeah. So why being jealous? It's not going to serve you and it's not going to serve me. So I let that go before I met you. And it's been an amazing thing for me. It probably makes you feel like there's an allowance. Mm-hmm. Like I'm allowing of you to be yourself and trusting. Yeah. Does that help you?
It helps me so much. Right. And recently I was having a conversation with a friend of ours, and she was saying, Marta, but he can go on tour and promoting his book. You don't know what could happen. I can go in my movies and he cannot know what could happen. And she was like, aren't you doesn't that make you nervous? And I said to her, it goes back to who the person is when you get to know them and what their values are. I know Louis's values. I know his life lessons. I know the things he has learned. I know he made a pact with himself of integrity. And I know if any of us is unintegrous, it's a betrayal to our own self-esteem and our own self-love, and to the relationship. But to the core is to,
the person
who's doing it. And so, again, he's living his life and I'm living my life, and we are choosing to share it.
That's it.
And I don't know, I feel very happy and very grateful for the allowance and the freedom to continue to live my life. If he was to say, yeah, I want to be with you, but I want you to change your profession. Right. That'd be very hard. I would feel he's not accepting me.
Right. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be with you if I want you to change something about you.
Yeah.
So I had to accept, okay, this is who you are. Maybe you do something different in the future, but let me believe you're going to continue doing this. Yeah. Can I be okay with that? Yeah. Does that work for me? And it does. Yeah. So
I think allowance is important. Yeah, allowance is flexibility also, having flexibility within the relationship. The N is nurture. And nurture is not only about nurturing each other. Obviously, we do. We're very affectionate with each other. We really are very affectionate. We're very affectionate with each other.
I have a barrier. I feel like we should have got a couch.
I know. The other thing is, I think, it's not only about the nurture, it's also about having a nurturing life. So I see it with my parents. They have nurture with each other in their love languages. And each of them have a very nurturing life. My dad has changed professions probably 10 times. We had a pet shop at one time. We had arcades at a different time. He went into being a doctor and helping people healing, and then now he's on Bitcoin trading. And, and so I think it's just very important to have a nurturing life, because then I go on my adventures and I come home and I share with Luis. He goes on his adventures like today and yesterday and the day before. All of this, the preparation for this event is an adventure, and he tells me who he met, who he talked to, what impacted him. I share with him. So we both have a nurturing life that we share with each other. So I think that's also very important. The next one is the C's, which is commitment. And I think this is important, the commitment to the vision we've created for the relationship. I think creating a vision together of the relationship, even if you've been together already for many years, sit down, create that vision. I think this is something we've learned.
It's beautiful that we have our values and we have a vision. A business has that. I think a relationship should have that as well, to see where we're going and what we stand for.
And we can have very different memories of the same moment. So it depends on how we encapture and encapsulate that moment in our psyche. And so that took me on a journey with therapy to go and visit the 5 inner child wounds, which I did. And I also am very grateful for my parents, because at the time,